Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Combo, episode number 97. The conversation I want to get into today, with the win over UGAS, will Errol Spence finally be on the road to facing Terence Crawford and finally becoming undisputed? I'm going to break it all down in this video, so stay tuned. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell.
What keeps you hungry enough to remain a fighter?
You know, to win, to be the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hard-hitting, reigning and defending
So, you guys know how I break my videos down into different rounds. So, round one would be about how special is Errol Spence. And also in round two, with the win over UGAS, will it finally lead to a fight, undisputed showdown against Terence Crawford? So, let's get into round one. So, Errol Spence had I think it was a really good interview by Fight Hype. They always do a really good job. I did not put a clip in my video, but please go check those guys out. Subscribe to their channel. Very educational, and you know, those guys really know what it takes to get the best out of some of these boxers when it comes to conversation as well. And I think they did a phenomenal job with Errol Spence. They had a phone conversation with him, and they was talking about a lot of things they has faced, a lot of you know, with the accident, the eye injury, missing out on a lot of money with Manny Pacquiao, and just his overall, you know, his overall demeanor on becoming undisputed. And also moving up to 154, and how much longer he has to fight. How many more years do he want to fight? But the way Errol Spence answered everything, man, he was direct. I don't blame him for staying quiet about some of the things that they asked him, especially when it comes to Terence Crawford and other fights. And moving up to 154, you got to concentrate on one thing at a time, because UGAS is a very dangerous opponent for Errol Spence. But I really love how he, you know, his composure when answering some of the things that they was asking him. You know, what I took out of it, just determination. That's about the best thing I could, you know, the best way I could describe the interview. I think he's basically saying that, you know, I'm determined to come back and prove to myself first, and prove to the fans I'm still that same type of fighter with the same type of grit. And moving up to 154, that's a big goal in becoming undisputed. I think he can accomplish everything. I think his toughest fight at 147 will probably be, you know, Terence Crawford. You know, these two guys are at the top of the peak. But like I said, please go check out that interview. I think it was beautiful. And Errol Spence, you know, like I say, a lot of people want to hear more from him, but I don't blame him for not saying too much, because in the sport of boxing, it's not just two guys sitting down and trying to come to an agreement. It's politics involved, and this and that. But I kind of want to get onto the mental health thing too, man. When you go through a big accident like Errol Spence did, it can mess up your psyche. It could get you down. It can make you not want to continue on with the sport. But Errol Spence, the way he answered it, was like, you know, you got some of the best, especially with the eye injury as well. You got a lot of doctors. You know, he was talking about when Sugar Ray Leonard had his eye injuries, and kind of what made him go into retirement the first time is that was 40 years ago. So Errol Spence, he was basically stating that some of the best doctors in the world had time to get better and improve their techniques when it comes to doing surgery. So I really like what he was saying. I think he, you know, it could be some mental things there that he may not share, but I think as far as how he was sounding, especially with his media workout on Showtime, I think he did a phenomenal job. And he looked really well. Like, he did a phenomenal job in answering some of the questions, but he looked really well. He looked fit. He looked ready. He looked strong. Even at 147, he looks huge at 147, and that's a big statement, because you know, just the way his muscle mass is pronounced, it looks like he's preparing for war. well, he is preparing for war. That's a crazy statement, but I think he's ready to go. I think he's ready to show everybody that the reason why he called himself the truth. But let's get into round 2. So let's get into round 2. With the win over Dennis Ugas, will it finally lead to a fight with Terence Crawford on the road to Undisputed? So Errol Spence has been talking about becoming undisputed and sticking to his goals no matter what the fans think, no matter what the media say about him, with his duck and the dodge. And a lot of people are going to say a lot of things about you until you get to your goal and prove to the world that you did it your way. And I really think what I'm really looking forward to, if he can actually get through a tough fight with Dennis Ugas, which I think is really going to be tough, but if he can get through it, I would love to see what's going to be said after the fight, or maybe a couple days after the fight. I don't think he's going to say too much, directly after the fight, but I think as far as maybe a couple days, he kind of get with his family and friends and celebrate. I think that he'll come out and say what's next. So everybody knows that Terence Crawford is a free agent. So that's great news for Errol Spence as well. As far as communication, as far as working out the kinks and stuff like that, but you don't have to worry about the big loopholes as far as networks getting involved, even promoters. I think that Terence Crawford, he has a lot of freedom to get maybe a one fight deal, a one and done deal with the PBC, or he could take a 2-fight deal. It's been rumored that he wants him and Danny Garcia has been going back and forth, and that's a big possibility that they can also fight this summer. But I think it could for both guys. I think it could be the road that everybody's been, it could be the road to actually them two facing each other and put on a show. And I think, to be honest, you guys think about it how you want to think about it, but could this fight actually be bigger than Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather? I think absolutely yes. I may do a video on that as well, like a comparison, but I really do think that the fight between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford could be massive. These guys, everybody talking about pay this, pay that. I think they'll find the money some kind of way to get these guys into the ring, and I think Errol Spence has the mentality that he want to get in there and prove himself, and I feel like that with Terence Crawford. His situation is so different now, being away from Top Rank, and a lot of people was accusing him not fighting the best guys, but now he has the opportunity to fight one of the best guys in the same weight division at 147. So I do think if Errol Spence can get past Dennis Ugas, I would love to see what's going to happen after the fight. And I really think the only way for him to Errol Spence to accomplish his goals is to go through Terence Crawford. He cannot let that fight get away. I think it has to happen. I think it'll be bigger at 147 because of the implications of becoming undisputed, which a lot of guys have never became undisputed in one of the hardest divisions in boxing history. I think that is still one of the toughest divisions, and it's stacked with the most talent than any other division. I don't care if it's not welterweight. I don't care if it's light heavyweight. I don't care what weight class it is. It's one of the toughest, most stacked divisions, and now you have another scary guy in Jaron Ennis that's lurking as well. So, but I do think the two guys at the top of the food chain is Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. But Errol Spence, the only way that he's going to become undisputed, he has to go through Terence Crawford. So it could be a 2-fight deal for Terence Crawford. Like I say, it might be a lot of talks that we don't know about, that we haven't heard anything. I don't blame Errol Spence for being quiet on some of those questions that he was being asked by Fight Hype. I think it was smart for him and his team to go over that game plan, to not let too much information out, and only to concentrate on one of the. Errol Spence is facing a dangerous guy in Dennis Ugas, which I'm going to make a video on Dennis Ugas next. But you guys let me know what you think about this one down in the comments below. That's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 97. You guys let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. If you want to see what I'm wearing, shoptachi.com. Follow me on all social media platforms that I currently own. Links will be down in the descriptions below. I always want to thank you guys for giving me the motivation to give you the best in boxing when it comes to content. Also, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. It's very important for the channel. With all that out of the way, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo.